Islam in Indonesia, especially in the land of Java, stands as one of the most fascinating stories of cultural harmony in world history. On this island, faith did not arrive with the sound of swords, but with the rhythm of gamelan, the poetry of ancient verses, and the wisdom of patient teachers. Java was already rich with traditions, philosophies, rituals, and a deep spiritual consciousness long before Islam came. And yet, when Islam arrived, it did not erase what was there. Instead, it blended, adapted, and slowly became part of the soul of the Javanese people. This transformation cannot be separated from the monumental role of the Wali Songo, the 9 saints, who are remembered as the pioneers of Islamic propagation in Java. Among them were figures such as Sunan Gresik, Sunan Ampel, Sunan Bonang, Sunan Kudus, and one of the most legendary of all, Sunan Kalijaga. Their approach to da'wah, or Islamic preaching, was unlike many other movements in history. They understood something fundamental. To touch the heart of a community, you must first understand its culture. At that time, Javanese society was deeply influenced by Hindu-Buddhist traditions, animistic beliefs, and local wisdom passed down through generations. Temples stood tall, weighing stories shaped moral imagination, and ceremonies marked every stage of life. Instead of rejecting these traditions outright, the Wali Songo chose a path of wisdom and patience. They did not come to destroy culture, they came to purify and redirect it toward monotheism. Among all the Wali Songo, Sunan Kalijaga is perhaps the most iconic symbol of cultural integration. His genius lay not only in his religious knowledge but in his profound understanding of human psychology and art. He realized that if Islam were presented in a way that felt foreign and harsh, the people would resist it. But if its universal values were woven into familiar forms, the message would be embraced naturally. One of his most famous methods was through wayang kulit, the traditional Javanese shadow puppet theatre. Wayang had long been a central form of storytelling in Java, usually based on Hindu epics such as the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Rather than abolish these performances, Sunan Kalijaga reinterpreted them. He infused Islamic ethical teachings into the characters and narratives. The heroes began to embody Islamic virtues: honesty, humility, devotion to one God, and moral integrity. Through wayang, complex theological ideas were communicated in a language people already loved and understood. The screen of the puppet show became a spiritual classroom. The dalang, or puppeteer, became not only an entertainer but also a preacher. And the audience, captivated by familiar stories, gradually absorbed new meanings about faith and morality. Music was another powerful medium. Gamelan instruments accompanied religious gatherings. Islamic messages were delivered through tembang, traditional Javanese songs. Instead of Arabic chants alone, local melodies carried the message of Tawhid, the oneness of God. This approach ensured that Islam did not feel like an imported belief, but like a natural continuation of the Javanese spiritual journey. Sunan Kalijaga also played a crucial role in shaping social customs. Many Javanese traditions we see today, such as selamatan communal meals, were preserved but given Islamic intention and meaning. The ritual gathering remained, but the prayers were directed to Allah. The structure of community life was maintained, yet its spiritual orientation was transformed. What makes this story so remarkable is the balance it achieved. Islam remained Islam. Its core principles of monotheism, prayer, charity, fasting, and moral conduct were never compromised. At the same time, Javanese identity was not erased. Instead, a unique expression of Islam emerged, deeply spiritual, culturally rich, and socially harmonious. This cultural approach also prevented violent conflict. Conversion happened gradually. It was rooted in dialogue, empathy, and example. The Wali Songo did not only preach with words, they demonstrated Islamic character in their daily lives. Their humility, generosity, and wisdom attracted people more powerfully than force ever could. Over time, Islamic kingdoms such as the Sultanate of Demak rose in Java, further strengthening the presence of Islam in political and social life. But even as Islam became dominant, the cultural flavor remained distinctly Javanese. Mosques were built with multi-tiered roofs resembling traditional architecture. Islamic celebrations were colored with local customs. The integration was not superficial, it became the foundation of Javanese Muslim identity. Today, centuries later, Islam in Java remains strong. The call to prayer echoes across rice fields and cities alike. Pesantren, or Islamic boarding schools, continue the legacy of teaching. And traditional arts still carry spiritual messages. The harmony between faith and culture that began with the Wali Songo continues to shape Indonesian Islam as a model often described as peaceful, tolerant, and culturally rooted. The story of Sunan Kalijaga reminds us of an important lesson. True transformation does not require erasing identity. It requires wisdom. It requires understanding that culture can be a bridge, not a barrier. When religion speaks the language of the people, their art, their music, their stories, it becomes alive in their hearts. Islam in Java did not grow by confrontation, but by conversation. It did not spread by fear, but by familiarity. And at the center of that transformation stood figures like Sunan Kalijaga, scholars, artists, and spiritual guides who understood that the most powerful dawah is the one that touches both the mind and the soul. In the end, the strength of Islam in Java is not merely a story of numbers or institutions. It is a story of harmony, between revelation and tradition, between faith and culture, between the universal message of Islam and the local wisdom of the Javanese people. And perhaps that is why, even today, when we speak about Islam in Indonesia, we cannot separate it from the legacy of the Wali Songo. Their approach teaches us that faith flourishes best when it is rooted in compassion, wisdom, and a deep respect for the human journey.